Hello, 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 hello. How is everyone tonight? Shannon's 50% here. Hi, Angie. Crazy Sleen. Evening Teach. Hi, Aurora. Hi, Holly. Hi, Ruthie. How is everyone tonight? I am so excited. Oh, my stars. Time change. Love it when it's lighter later in the day. It brings me great joy. I know we tend to lose an hour, but we eventually get used to it. And I, for one, just love the sunshine. So, as you all know, my very special guest tonight is the one and only Michael Foster. And I'm doing great, Amy. Thank you. Thank you, Marguerite. I'm doing great. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe and share button on your way in. Um, we're going to bring Michael in now. Hi, Michael.
Hi, Susan. How are you?
I'm good, honey. How are you?
I'm great. Good to be here.
Good. I'm so glad. We've got lots of guests coming in from all of our streams. Amy Valentini says, Hi, Michael.
Hi, Amy.
Shannon has COVID, and so she's really pissed. She's gone through the entire pandemic without getting it and got it the other day. So she's not a happy camper. So I've warned her, be good and no cussing tonight, Shannon. No cussing. Rita had surgery today, so she's watching with one eye. And Amy Finley says, Hi, Michael. I don't know if you can see the chat.
I can actually.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Amy, Aurora Rose,
mhm.
Marguerite, it looks like. Yeah.
Yes.
Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody. Hey, how's everybody doing?
So I have something special that Michael doesn't know about. And we were just waiting for the audience to build, and I am going to play it now. So bear with me.
As we go, burning down the line. Don't wanna talk about it, I'm not with you. No second thoughts about it, I saw this through. Black and out, I see the light shining through the darkest night. True love waits as we go, burning down the line.
That was awesome. And good job. I don't know who the music was. List.
I got it from Canva. They're free audios.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody said better than Fabio, and then Amy said Fabio who?
That was great.
Yeah, he definitely beats out Fabio. I've got stories about Fabio. Wait, where is the Thundermans? Hi, Bobby.
That you got me. I didn't see that coming, so that was awesome. That was great.
And
And
if you
you know
wanna-
what my favorite ones were? Are you and Kevin visiting and being here with Maggie in Alabama?
Oh God, we had so much fun. That was the first time, people, that I had shrimp étouffée. Is that how you say it?
Étouffée, yep.
I had never had étouffée before.
Mhm.
I'm not a shrimp eater. Do not like shrimp. I won't eat shrimp, especially like fried shrimp. Oh, but Shannon says roll tide.
I'll get back to that in a minute. I got a thought on that one.
But we had so much fun at your house. We really enjoyed it. It's a beautiful home. It really is. And I love your wife.
Oh.
She's just the sweetest little thing.
Yeah,
I
well,
do.
me
I
too. Me
just
too.
adore
That's
her.
why this happened. So,
Yeah.
and I was going to say, didn't we have Armenian food? Was that your first time having Armenian food when you came to see me in
No,
Glendale?
no, the first time we had Armenian food was with you in California when
Right.
you were
But
still in
was that
Cali.
your first
Yeah.
time?
Yes.
First time etouffee, first time Armenian food. Hmm.
Yes. So I'm fat because of Michael. No, I'm just kidding.
Stop. Pays to know a foodie,
Oh,
huh?
yeah.
But
But I
now, but
real
now,
old.
but now, this is my dinner. So there it is.
Yeah, that's your dinner.
Yeah, yeah.
I had
Because of the
baked
Thundermans.
chicken. I
Uh-huh.
had because of the Thundermans, yeah.
Hmm.
I had baked chicken and a baked sweet potato and some green beans for my dinner.
May I help you up the ante on that baked sweet potato?
Sure.
So I was following a recipe, this guy that I watch, and
Mhm.
when you pull it out, you just wrap it in. All right, my Alabama's gonna come out now. Put it in foil, and when you have
Put
it
it
in
in
foil,
foil.
put it in foil. So put some poke marks in it with your fork, and then put it in foil.
Yes.
Put it in the oven, get it to where
Mhm.
it comes out where it's really soft, and then you can cut it in half, take a spoon, and get all that sweet potato out of there. Add a
Yes.
little bit of either ghee or coconut oil, like when I did there, and then a little bit of what I like to put in is I'm a nut for the pumpkin pie. I'm the pumpkin pie spice guy in the fall, as you know. I know you can either do that or cinnamon, and then a little bit of like some good Himalayan pink salt, and mix
Uh-huh.
that up into like a mash. Oh, it's so good.
See, I like it just plain without anything in it. I
Fair
don't even
enough.
like it with butter. It was just they were good sweet potatoes. Oh, Shannon, you are just a riot. My husband's family is all in Alabama around Trinity, Roll Tide.
So,
Yes, sweet.
oh, go ahead, go ahead.
No, I was just telling her, yes, sweet potatoes are healthier than regular potatoes.
Oh, by far. As a matter of fact, the nutrients in sweet potatoes are where it's at. So it's just,
Mhm,
don't carbohydrates, if you compare that to potatoes, whatever,
mhm.
but it's the fact that it's just loaded with vitamins and minerals. And I feed them to my daughter all the time. So highly
Yes,
recommend.
and I like to make sweet potato fries, but in the air fryer.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yes, it was very good sweet potatoes. So, hi, Tina. There are so many people here tonight, and we get a lot more people on the replay crew because of time chains and stuff. Anyway, I'm so glad you're here. But yes, the Armenian food, that was a fun night. I loved your house in California, by the way. Oh my God.
And then that we got it fixed up, like customized exactly like we
It
wanted.
was
Like, do you
perfect.
remember the bar that we had there? So when we
Yes.
had, I think you were there before we had the whole house redone. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
I believe you were. And then so even we had the bar redone, and because I'm 6'6", so I had the bar because I used to, when I first got to LA, I learned how to bartend.
Yes.
I was a high school English teacher back in Michigan, being Mr. Foster, and then I get to LA and I'm the guy making your drinks, right? So but we had it where like all the glasses that you hang up top, I had it
Mhm.
super tall. So the people that bought our house, do you want to hear a quick LA story?
Sure.
So a lot of the women on here might know who this is. This can only happen in LA. A good friend of mine, one of my closest friends, Matt Felker, is the guy from that Britney Spears video, Toxic. He was the hot guy. Remember when Britney's like in the airplane and then starts kissing the hot guy?
Uh-huh.
So that's my buddy Matt. And
Okay.
he produces and directs documentaries now. So
Mhm.
he is producing and doing the whole Baywatch documentary that's going to be coming out hopefully within about a year. So plug to Matt. It's going to be awesome. So one of the
Mhm.
guys that he got to be in there to talk about his Baywatch experience is a guy by the name of Michael Bergen, who also was, after Marky Mark was the Calvin Klein model, Bergen was
Yes.
the next one, and then he went on to have a big career in Baywatch. So,
Oh, okay.
so when we sold the house to move to Alabama, I was trying to figure out who was going to sell my house, and he's like, "Hey, Bergen sells houses," and I was like, "All right." So Michael Bergen goes to sell my house, and he calls me up one day, and he's like, "Hey, I can't be there today, but some people are coming over." And I was like, "Well, do you want me to do it?" And he's like, "Can you?" And I'm like, "Dude, I could sell a ketchup popsicle to a woman wearing white gloves." And the whole thing. So these people came in, and I'm like, and then we did this over here, and I customized this, and look at this over here, and because I told you we had the hidden room downstairs.
Oh, yeah, I've been in the hidden room.
Oh yeah, okay. So you pull the Susan Tisdale novel, and
Yes.
door swings open. So I'm showing them all this stuff, and we wound up. Those are the people that wound up buying it. So
Mhm.
going back to my tall bar, this poor guy that bought the place might have been 5'7" tops, and
Oh
here's
my
this
gosh.
bar that's made for Frankenstein, But
So, did you offer to lower it for him before they moved in?
absolutely not. We were just like, hey, you're welcome. We're going to Alabama. Take care. Bye bye.
There you go. There you go. Oh,
Yeah.
but you love Alabama.
I love Alabama. I miss, when you were talking about Armenian food, there are certain things that I miss about California, and obviously the food and, the culture. I love the culture of the South. I love the people here, are super friendly, but I
Mhm.
really adopted when I say Armenian over and over, Glendale is the highest percentage of Armenian people probably in the world outside of Armenia.
Yeah.
So I made a lot of Armenian friends, and I really got into their food. And I even, they'd come over, and there's me back in the day standing outside with like a natural light and my
Uh-huh.
kebab grill. And I'm like, I had like a big custom kebab grill put in, and I'm like, hey, Armin, never saw a big white boy making kebab before, have you? He's like, my friend, I've never seen this before,
Oh,
So,
they know how to cook though. Oh my God.
mm,
People, if you've never had Armenian food, if you ever get the chance, you've got to try it because it is absolutely amazing.
yep,
The meat, and I'm not a
mm,
huge meat eater, but good night, Irene. That was some good stuff. That was some
mhm,
really good stuff.
yep, yep.
So, is there any announcements that you would like to make while we're live? Anything you want to talk about in particular? Particular. My
Um,
my new meds have finally kicked in, and so I'm like 8,000 miles an hour, and I'm trying to really sit still.
trying to reel
Um,
it in.
Trying to reel it in.
Uh
Yes.
huh.
So, is there anything you would like to anything that you could talk about? Movies, soap operas, commercials, anything like that coming up that we'd like to talk about?
Well, I would just like to make a quick fitness tip. Ladies and gentlemen, Susan Tisdale had sweet potatoes tonight, and she's got plenty of energy and is not in a carbohydrate coma. Let that be a lesson to you.
That's true, but I'm also on methylphenidate. They doubled the dose for
So
my
you got that
ADD.
happening.
I got that happening. Michael, send me some Jim and Nick's, please. I don't know what that
Yeah,
is.
it's a barbecue place down here, and they've actually
Oh,
at the stores everybody's got their barbecue sauce, but I learned in Alabama an Alabama thing is called white sauce. So Jim and
white
Nick's
sauce.
makes a really good white sauce. It's kind of like, imagine, this is going to gross some people out, but some people might like it. Imagine mixing mayonnaise and like vinegar, kinda. That's kind of the
Yeah.
road we're going, and they just put everything in it. So I'm not a white sauce guy. Do I like it? It's fine. I'm not hating on it, but it's just not my go-to usually because I'm trying to get back on another one of your covers, and that's not good for the abs. So,
Oh, definitely. We're going to the plan is for starting in the middle of the summer. I had been testing with some different covers,
mhm.
and I'd been going to old school like Julie Garwood and just doing scenes, not people. And I believe the market is turning back to either just women or couples on their covers. So yes, you will probably be on some new covers. We're going to sorry, my chair is driving me nuts. We are going to do some retro covers. So
Mm.
I'm really excited about that. Ashley wants to know what's in the green smoothie.
Oh, this. All right. Well, so you were asking about stuff I had coming up. So just so you know, I'll be
Yes.
ready back in, I've been a dad in Alabama for a couple years, and I discovered Bojangles, which is the worst thing that ever happened to me. Biscuits and fried chicken. So I'm back in hardcore mode because this will be Ashley. This will be a good segue to what you were asking there. You're asking if I have any announcements. So I just booked a movie. I'm going to be going back to LA. They're actually flying me back Easter Sunday. I'm going to film at the Paramount lot for a couple of weeks. I did, for those of you that know or don't know, I've done a lot of children's television, Nickelodeon, Disney, that sort of stuff. And one of my characters was Strongdoor, the big Viking. He's like Ian, but dumb. You know who he
Yes.
is? He's Ian. If Ian was made by a Viking, and then do you remember the dog from the Looney Tunes cartoons was always like, which way did he go, George? Which way did he go?
Yes.
He's that guy. So I am hardcore and get back in shape mode right now because I'm going to be
Uh-huh.
filming this movie. And in this, what I do is can they only see what I see from you? There's two pictures.
No,
I
that we
have.
can see your cup. We can see
Okay.
your cup. There you
Okay.
go. Mhm.
Okay. So I
Yeah.
have like that much ice. Then I
Uh-huh.
pack in as absolutely much spinach as I can in there because spinach is the only green vegetable that I found that doesn't have like a flavor to it. Like I can't taste the spinach in this at all. That
Oh,
one's
okay.
so you can, and spinach is a superfood. It's super good for
Mhm.
getting lean. I pack that in there. Then I put a couple of scoops of the protein I'm using.
Mhm.
Shameless plug. I'm not getting paid for it, so I either use Beverly International products or I'm a big fan of Redcon One.
Okay.
I switched. Should I tell why? Do we have time?
Sure.
They
Whatever. We all night, honey.
Okay. Well, when my hero growing up, I watched Stallone, Schwarzenegger, Van
Oh,
Damme. I know,
yes.
mindless. I'm a product of the 80s, right? And when
Yes, so am I.
Okay. So when Schwarzenegger came out and did that whole screw your freedom, I was like, okay,
Yes.
I'm done here. So I
Yes.
saw that Redcon One was a company that was their title sponsor for his Arnold Classic. And they pulled their sponsorship from it. And I was like, all right. And then I was like, I'll just buy some of their stuff just because they did that and see what happens. And come to
Yeah.
find out, they have fantastic products. So that's 2 scoops of either that or the Beverly stuff here. And then I add in like half almond milk and half water, blend it up, and it's actually really good.
Okay. Someone asked if the protein is flavored.
Yeah, the stuff I use is this is vanilla, but I have one
Oh,
that's the Redcon one makes an oatmeal chocolate chip, which is really good. And Beverly is just like chocolate, vanilla, and they do have a good graham cracker one if you like cinnamon. So,
well, how does the chocolate chip one taste with vanilla ice cream?
ooh. Well, hang on. See, they like, does this taste good to me? Yeah, but if you sit down and put like a Ben and Jerry's big cup of something in front of me, there's no comparison, right? So,
Exactly. I
yeah.
just love spinach though. I do. Not cooked. I cannot eat it cooked. It's nasty.
Mhm.
But I love spinach salads. I put spinach in all my salads. Yeah.
I agree. It's good, but the thing is, for my diet, I'd be eating like 7 cups of spinach a day, and I just can't sit there eating salad all day long. So I
Yes.
blend it up, and it tastes fantastic. It really
I'll
does.
have to try it sometime. I will.
Yeah, yeah. You know me. I'll rate you. I'll write it up for you.
I know you will. I know you will.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, Diana says she can't stand cooked spinach either.
Yeah. Have you noticed how far it cooks down to? Like you can have a pan and just put pounds of spinach in, and within a couple of minutes, there's like not even an eighth of it left. It cooks down.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It cooks down. But I do like cooking with it. I just don't like oh God. Growing up, it was canned spinach with vinegar. That was just nasty. And my dad loved it and I just couldn't do it. But putting it in dishes, love that. Putting it in lasagna, love that.
Mm.
And just eating it. Just eating it.
Hmm.
So you think it's the texture of it cooked?
Yeah, I
I
think
think it's
so.
just the whole taste.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love spinach cooked in apple cider vinegar. I don't know that I could do that. But Shannon's former army, so she can eat pretty much everything.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
She learned the hard way.
Yeah. What did
Uh,
Rambo say? You can eat things that makes a billy goat puke, right?
yes, yes. When you're hungry enough, you'll eat anything.
Yep.
So, I think most of the people here tonight are authors. I know there's a few readers in here, but for mostly it's authors. And you do covers for period images, correct?
Mhm.
And that's exclusive with them. You don't work for anybody else for covers, right?
Yeah, that was the one. I have had other companies approach me to do work,
Uh-huh.
but I mean, I'm the one thing that I am is loyal, and I
Hmm.
really have become very, very close with VJ Dunraven, who owns Period
Yes.
Images, and
Oh, she's so talented.
isn't she? And I mean,
Yes.
she's the one that basically, and because of her, I have a career and I get to go to all the
Yes.
conferences and do all that stuff. So it's
Mhm.
just, I don't really, I just don't want to work with anybody else. I just want to work with her,
Yes.
and I'm loyal to her. And
Mhm.
you've seen the covers that you just put in the little rock and roll video. I mean,
Yes.
she does good work.
She
So
does very good work. She does very good work.
yeah.
Um, so what is your favorite kind of cover to do? Is
Uh,
it
Here's the deal. Everyone's going to think that I'm doing this because I'm sucking up to you. I love Highlanders. I do.
Yes.
Highlanders and Vikings. And the reason
Mhm.
is I get to take a big sword with my shirt off and swing it around at the photo shoots.
There
And
you go.
to me, like I said, I grew up watching these action movies and all that. I've got so much going on in here when I'm doing that. I'm just like,
Yeah.
this is the stuff I dreamed about when I was a little boy.
Yes.
So
Well, I remember several years ago, pre-pandemic. I hate that we have to identify time periods pre-pandemic,
yeah.
but the indie scribe conferences were so much fun having you there, and we were doing a contest. Who does it better? Who does it hotter? It was me and Victoria Vane, and I was with Highlanders, and she was doing Cowboys. Who's hotter, Cowboys or Highlanders? And I go and grab Michael out of the hallway and bring him in, and everybody cheered the loudest. So we won.
I have the picture of you jumping up in the air like that.
Yes.
Mhm. I know exactly
I know
what
I
you're talking
cheated, but
about.
I didn't care. Damn it. Highlanders are better. Tina says you're a good Highlander. Perfect build for it. What we imagine from words anyway. Yeah, he's true. That's true. He really is. Those muscles, I'm telling you. I don't know what BCE ACE PPD stands for. Shannon,
Is that code?
that's got to be code. That's got to
Code.
be code.
Yeah, Morse.
It has
She's
to
typing,
be.
she said she's military. She's typing Morse code right now.
There you go. Well, she's down to one hand, so she has to do voice to text because she just had surgery on her hand. The stitches just came out today.
Oh.
Yeah, it wasn't for carpal tunnel. It was actually on her hand. Poor girl.
Do you want me to give a health tip while we're at it? Whenever I can see it's time to shoot one in.
Yes.
Okay. The amino acid L-glutamine post-surgery is every time I know anyone that has surgery, I tell them to take it. It's what you would call the jack of all trades amino. So let's say like when you take it, your body's running low on like, I don't know, phenylalanine or the amino acid L-glycine or whatever it is. Glutamine can be transformed and put into that. So basically when it comes to healing, glutamine is the best thing you can do. It doesn't really have a flavor. I just recommend getting caps. But post-surgery, if you can remember L-glutamine, that is the best thing that you can take after surgery.
Okay, that's
Just
a good tip.
Just a little tip to heal faster.
Before that's what it stands for. Before Common Era, after Common Era, and pre-pandemic era. And then we're going to have the post-pandemic era. When life finally sort of got back to normal. I hated that damn pandemic. That was so depressing, but I digress. So most of the people here tonight are authors, but I know you've got lots of your followers on the stream as well. So I want to welcome each and every one of them. There's lots of names and that I don't recognize. So I'm going to assume they're from your side of the river. So for authors, and I can never say this, there's three words I can't say. Social Security. I cannot say Social Security. And sedentary, where you just sit all the time. Sedentary. I can't say it.
Sedentary.
Yes, sedentary. Thank you.
Yep.
So those are the two words I can, and I know there's another one, but I can't think of it right now.
It's Worcestershire sauce.
No, I can say Worcestershire sauce.
Ooh, that's a tough one.
I know.
Yeah.
Worcester. It's actually Worcester.
Worcester. Try to get Nicaraguans to say it. My wife being Nicaraguan, when her mom and dad come here and they go to grab it, they call it salsa inglesa, like English sauce. And I'm always like, "What do you want?" And they're like the Worcester, the salsa inglesa, Miguelito. Necesito salsa inglesa. And I'm like, okay, you know.
Shannon points out the third thing I can't say, but I've been in some speech therapy. Whenever I said YouTube, it was YouTube. I put an extra B in there like a toddler. I don't know. But anyway, we digress again. So as authors who sit and write for long periods of time, one of the things that has helped me is my Apple Watch because it'll remind me to stand up and take a little walk. It reminds me to breathe, et cetera, et cetera. But are there some exercises, really simple things we can do sitting in our chair or standing at our desk that kind of helps loosen us up, gets the blood flowing again? Maybe not necessarily cardio or but just something that we can do to help keep us healthy.
Absolutely. Would you like me to go ahead and show you?
No. I asked because I just wanted you to sit there like a bump on a log. Yes, show me, damn it.
In that case.
He's just the cutest little bump on a log we ever seen. Okay, so he's going to show us some things. Oh, yeah, I love that one. That's one of my favorites. I do that one frequently.
Susan, just so you know, I can't hear you right now, so I'll be coming back. Other side. Then
Oh, squats. Okay. I do this one all the time. That's my favorite one. I do, but I never think to just get up and do some squats.
just
My worry is at my age, I will get down and won't be able to get back up.
that's
my
what you get the
chair's
table
on-
for. Got the table.
Well, I
That's
can
your
use the
spotter.
desk. I can
Mhm.
use the desk, but just I will have to remind myself not to use my chair because it's on wheels. I
Don't
can
use the
see.
chair. Yep. And also, I don't know if you can see this here, but another one you can do is like, okay, so I've got this on my, this is kind of my table here. You can't see what let's see if I can do this.
Crotch
You-
shot.
Oh, crotch shot. But I will, my hips just pop doing that. Side to
Yeah.
side. Couple,
Oh,
they
yes,
both,
I do that one.
Yep. Those both. And then this one, you know, when I did David and Goliath,
Yes.
I did this one all the time because I figured Goliath was probably sitting out in the middle of the desert getting pissed off, waiting for that little shit to come running out and start a fight,
Uh-huh.
you know, just sitting here. I don't know if you can see it, but I'm sitting down in a squat position, just putting my
Yeah.
elbows between my legs and I'm just sitting here.
Yes.
That's simple. Sorry for the crotch shot, everybody, but I'm just trying to show you
That's
what I would
okay.
do.
Nobody's complaining. They're all saying thank you.
But just really, and the good thing about that is I can think, obviously you got to worry about your back because you get that whole hunch over typing all day thing. So
Yes.
coming back here, stretching's good, but you really need to think about too, you're completely sedentary. Talking into my
Show
microphone.
Show
Yeah, I was an English teacher. I can do that. But you really want to make sure that I could see that your hips and your groin area, that whole area, that's going to get tight. So anytime you can, like I was doing there, moving that around, that would be great.
Mhm.
Getting up, and even the other one that I like too, and I do this in yoga quite a bit. It's where you go here. I'll show you. It's instead of just going all the way down and stretching like this.
Yes.
Let's see, trying to get into the camera here. There you go. I'm putting my hands here. I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah.
And I'm making my back flat, looking up straight.
Oh, yes. What is that pose cause?
He just said it today in class. It's because you go all the way down and then you come back up and just
It's
put
a
your
table.
hands like tabletop almost.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah.
the other
I
one
love
is-
yoga.
Oh,
I do yoga with Adrienne. I do. I love her.
It changed your life,
And-
doesn't it?
It does. And one of my most favorite Adrienne yoga with Adrienne videos is the one she called When You're Feeling Dead Inside. And that sounds, hilarious, but it was absolutely a life changer for me, especially when I was going through my deep, deep depression. You just laid there for 20 or 30 minutes and breathed
Shavasana.
and maybe put your arms out.
Yeah, corpse pose.
and that was it.
Shavasana.
Yes.
Yep.
And oh my gosh, I couldn't believe how much better I felt after I did that.
Absolutely.
Hi Brent, how are you, honey? If you've never read Brent Jones, this guy can write. He's got one book out with a traditional publisher right now, and I cannot remember the name of it, but it is absolutely phenomenal. But anyway,
Well, not only is
Brent
he a
says-
good writer, but I agree with everything he just said. Posture is the thing, especially when we've become a society at the table on our computers.
yes,
And it's just- Let's slouch.
I catch myself like this all the time. So I have to remind myself to pull my laptop towards me. That forces me to sit up because I don't want to be too close to it because, eye strain and everything, but thank God for blue blockers. So yes, and standing up, especially for those of us who are blessed with a laptop, just pick up your laptop and take it to the kitchen counter and right there for 10 minutes.
Yep.
I think that is very helpful. I love that my job is portable. I don't have to sit in one spot. I can take it with me. And I love that I can, when I start to feel all slouchy and blah, I'll just pick up the laptop and go right at the island for a few minutes.
That's a great idea. And like you were saying, it doesn't have to be do a bunch of squats, cardio or anything, but get
Mhm.
those hips moving. And even, sorry, I know I'm being that guy. Here comes another gratuitous crotch shot, but just as simple as
Yes.
that
Yes.
sort of stuff. It really makes a difference. And if you can do that and then stretch out your upper body, like I said, by doing those, it just, because I really do feel for all of you authors on there because your job is very mentally challenging. But I
Yes.
will say that I mean, I'm a big believer in mind, body, the whole connection thing there.
Yes.
But getting that blood flowing as well is going to just make you feel better. And I'd be willing to say that taps into that creative, what do we call it?
Yes.
Creative nerve or the creative juices that you've got. And so, yeah, get the blood flowing. I mean, those are
Get
just
that blood
simple things to
flowing.
do. Yep.
Yes. And if you're not feeling, if your body isn't feeling good, it affects everything. It affects your mind, it affects your mood, it affects your attitude. Prior to my diagnosis and stuff, I hurt constantly. I would go to bed hurting, I would wake up hurting. And just everything hurt. I mean, it was easier to say what doesn't hurt. Well, my earlobes don't hurt today. But with the meds, that took away the pain, and that allowed me to do more yoga. It allowed me to walk. I sometimes just get up and walk. We live on a half-acre lot, and it sounds like it's not very big, but it's really, really deep. And sometimes I just get up. If I don't want to, walk on the streets or anything, I just walk to my back fence 4 or 5 times and get my steps in that way. So you have to make sure that your body feels good so that your mind feels good. And that in turn turns into creative juices.
100%.
100%. Yeah, you got something right today.
Oh, you got an A+ in Mr. Foster's class right there.
Thank you. Thank you. What do you think about standing desks and those little treadmill machines people have?
God, what's a little treadmill machine people have? You mean like a treadmill, or is there a little
Well,
like?
some people, I know Melissa Foster's got one. It's a treadmill, but it's like tiny. It's not one of those great big like Peloton treadmills or whatever. Wide enough to walk on, but she's got a writing desk on it, and she walks while she writes.
All right, I have to tell you, the first thing that just jumped in my head. I know I'm nutty, but one of my favorite bands is a German band called Rammstein. They're like kind of like techno, dun, dun, dun. And
Yeah.
at their concerts, the guy that plays the keyboards is on a treadmill. It's funny.
Oh,
He's
I
just
love
walking
it.
the whole time. So hey, I mean, if you can do it, I say go for it. But I really think, again, unless you're trying to be a cover model, which the stuff that I have to do to myself to look like that is way beyond just getting on a treadmill and typing some letters. If you're just
Yes.
trying to make it so you don't hurt, maybe you lose a little bit of weight, maybe get the creative juices flowing, then absolutely anything that's going to raise your heart rate a little bit and maybe a
Yes.
little bead of sweat going here, great. And if it's just for mobility, that's great too. So if from what you're telling me, Susan, that wouldn't be like, all right, we're going to go out and, lose 20 pounds, do something like that. But
Yes.
if it's for mobility and for all of that, I think that'd be fantastic. But once again, we're going back to sitting. You know what? I'll tell you what, there's one thing I am going to say before I forget. Leave the ellipticals at home. Forget those things.
Yeah.
After being an English teacher and then moving to California, being an actor for a couple of years, I worked with a company out there where I was selling commercial exercise equipment.
Mhm.
And I can tell you, I have studied biomechanics extensively. And I do know that the ellipticals, the way they move around in that ellipsis, does a lot of what's called the shearing of the knee. It's terrible for your knees. They really are.
Mhm.
Most gyms have these now. A company called Cybex, I don't know if you heard of it or not,
No.
was bought by Life Fitness. So long story short, it's called the ARC trainer, ARC. And the way that works, it's going to look like an elliptical, but what it does is it engages your glutes and your hamstrings as your primary drivers. So that being said, the pressure is not on your knees. It's going to be more on your glutes and your major muscle groups down there. So you're going to
Okay.
burn more calories in a faster period of time, but you're also going to really save those knees, because you just see so many people getting on an elliptical and
Yes.
going to town. And I'm just looking at it being like, in 5-10 years, your knees are going to feel that. So just heads up, just saying.
Yes. Got to
Tip of the
save the
day.
knees.
Yeah, tip
Got to
of the day.
save the knees.
Got to save the knees, man. Those are going to be important,
Exactly. My knees don't bother me, but I tell Kevin, I have a U joint going out on my right hip because it just hurts. It just hurts. And I think it's because sometimes I'll stretch out with my feet up on my desk,
Mm-hmm.
and I need to not do that. I need to get like an actual recliner
Well,
instead of, because sometimes you just need to put your feet up.
Agreed, but I can fix that too. That's what I'm here to do.
Okay.
I'm your fix. You know, when everyone's like, "Do you know a guy?" You know a guy. I'm your
I
guy.
know a guy. Yes.
So I will tell you this, Susan, and anybody watching can join in if you want to. I using extremely heavy weight, I have beaten the living hell out of my body.
Yes.
And I'll tell you another thing: don't ever do legs with an Australian, because my buddy Aaron was like, "Okay, come on, mate, you want to get more sweep on you out of quads? Here's what you got to do." So we're doing these heavy like leg sleds with twisted to the side and pushing our legs out, and I slipped my L5S1. So
Okay.
that whole area, that lower hip area, and the
Yes.
sciatica, it was horrible.
I'm
And
sure it was.
it was terrible. And Karina
Mhm.
kept telling me, you need to start taking yoga and Pilates. And I'm like,
Yes.
sorry, I'm a meat eater from the Midwest. I'm like, that's for chicks. I'm like, that's what women do. I lift weights. Oh, caveman, red meat. I was a moron. Okay. I admit it. I'm here to say I admit it. So I started taking the yoga we talked about, but then I
Yes.
started taking Pilates. And
Okay.
Pilates is challenging in a different way, but I will tell you this, where yoga just makes things feel better. Pilates is the WD-40 for all of those aches and pains in that region you're talking about.
Oh, okay.
Core, lower back, hips, everything. And a lot
Mhm.
of it is like, you'll just be sitting on the ground and you lift your leg up and just these teeny tiny little circles this way and then teeny
Uh-huh.
tiny little circles this way. And you're like, what? The next day you wake up and you're like, oh, what's happening here? But it changed the game. And it literally,
Uh-huh.
like, for me, I noticed because I love to ski and I suck at skiing. Like I
Mhm.
try, I ski all the time, but I'm not good. But I noticed when I started doing Pilates, with yoga, but
Yes.
Pilates made me a better skier because I had better, like my whole core was so much stronger. And it just,
Oh, cool.
so you can go, if you go on YouTube, all
Mhm.
you have to do is type in like Pilates for beginners and
Yeah.
just, I found one, it was Pilates by Kate, CAIT. And I was like, I'll
Okay.
try this. And it was good. So
Good.
I
Okay.
think
I'm
that-
writing it down.
I think that'll
I'm
fix you.
writing that down.
Yeah.
Okay. I wanted to go see my chiropractor too, because I'm a firm believer in chiropractic care. I am.
Mhm.
So Pilates by Kate.
Yeah, CAIT. She was really, that's just what I found, that I tried it and I was like, this is good. And now
Okay.
actually tomorrow, if anyone's in the greater Huntsville area, you'll find me at the local YMCA at 10:30 taking Jennifer's class, where it's myself and a bunch of women. I saw someone sitting here that Pilates was developed by a man. Okay, but ladies, y'all took it over because I'm the only dude in there every time, which I'm fine with. But it's like I'm looking around and here I am, this big 6'6", 270-pound dude, and I am getting smoked by all the ladies. They're just doing this stuff with their legs, and I'm like, oh, But it works.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
you love your chiropractor too, Amy? Oh my God. I love mine. I don't know if I've ever told you the story. I used to get migraines all the time. And my doctor prescribed, I don't even remember what it was called, but it turned me into a friggin' zombie. There were so many days I didn't even remember driving to work. That's how much of a zombie I was. And I had a migraine. This was back when I was selling insurance, and I had a migraine that started at work at like 9:30 in the morning on Monday. By Friday, I'm still going to work every day because, strong work ethic. And I was sitting in my office with the doors shut, um, shades drawn, lights off, and sunglasses, looking at a computer trying to do some work. And my boss comes in and she says, "Get in the Hummer." And I said, "What?" She says, "Go get in the Hummer." I said, "Why?" She says, "You're going to my chiropractor with me." And this is the kind of migraine where you vomit, that kind of migraine. I said, "Why?" She said, "You're going to my chiropractor with me." And I'm like, "Oh God, are you nuts? I'm not going to a freaking chiropractor." She said, "If you don't get your in the Hummer, your ass is fired. You're going to the chiropractor or I'm going to fire you." I'm like, "Okay." So I walk in, 6'6", 300-pound Lebanese guy walks towards me and he goes, "You've got a migraine." I'm like, "What was your first clue?" I was rude because I did not want to be there. So they took x-rays and he takes me into his exam room and he sits me down in this chair and he's just rubbing my shoulders and he's explaining what's going on. I have scoliosis, right? Well, I can't remember if it's the axis or the atlas bone in your neck, right?
Mhm.
It was pinching nerves. And so he's just doing this, and all of a sudden, no warning. And I just hear just crackle, 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 crackle. And I stood up and said, "You son of a," oh my God, it's gone. I mean, it was freaking instant. I was stunned, and I've been hooked ever since. When Malaya, Warrior Princess, our micro preemie was a baby.
Mhm.
She was probably 7 or 8 months old, had this horrible, I don't know what it was. Just the weirdest. She had a wheeze on the exhale. She was gray. We were taking her to the ER, and I said, I want to stop by Joe's real quick. The 6'6" guy with this little tiny, tiny baby just lays her across his lap and presses very gently on her neck, and you hear a little tiny click. And he sits her up, and within seconds, her color was pink, and she was breathing normally. So, firm believer in chiropractic care. Get yourselves a good chiropractor.
Be careful because an addiction could arise. I'm going to come clean. I'm a crackhead. I sit around watching YouTube videos of those cracks. I think it's
I
so
do
amazing.
too.
Right?
It's like, oh, that felt good just watching it.
Yes. You get all these different ones and they do. And I love the one where they roll you on your side and go like this and it gets that lower back to pop. Oh,
Yes.
feels so
Oh,
good.
yes.
Pilates actually, because of all the stuff you're doing, you'll get a lot of crackles doing that too.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I'm
Okay.
not saying it's a
I'll have to
chiropractor,
look
but you do get some crackles.
Love to crack.
Mhm,
That's
me
what
too.
Amy says.
Love me some crack.
I love me some crack. Oh, good God. But anyway, yeah, there are all sorts of things that you could do to improve how you're feeling.
Mhm.
And again, like I said before, if your body isn't feeling healthy, then what the hell happened to my microphone? Oh, there it is. If your body isn't healthy, then the rest of you is not either. It all works together.
That's right.
So I know one of my favorite snacks while writing is sea salt and chocolate covered caramels that you buy in bulk at Costco. So I'm not allowed to purchase those anymore, according to my husband, because I go into a sugar coma. So one of the things I started doing was like grapes and cheese, just grapes and cheese as snacks instead of chocolate.
May I intervene?
Yes, you may.
Okay. Again, I'm not one to ever tell anybody don't do what you like, but
Uh-huh.
grapes are absolutely a sugar bomb. I mean, they're great. I love them too. I like to freeze them sometimes, but I try to stay away
Okay.
from those. If you're gonna do fruit, the best fruits you can possibly do are going to be any of the darker berries: blackberries, raspberries, blueberries, even strawberries for the most part. And the reason are those are lower glycemic. So, which means is like whenever you take in certain kinds of sugar, they're all carbohydrates are based on what's called the glycemic index.
Yes.
Okay, the lower glycemic, the better it is for you because your body
Mhm.
has more time to take the sugars and just put them where they need to be. The
Okay.
faster it's like, I don't know what to do with all this, put it in fat cells. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So grapes are on the higher level, and grapes become raisins. Everyone's like, oh, raisins are healthy. So from a sugar standpoint, I mean, again,
Yes.
if we're talking about surviving the apocalypse, I'll eat some raisins. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
If there's nothing to eat, we're eating raisins. But I mean, as far as that goes, try to stick with the berries. Or
Okay.
I'm also a big fan of I eat with all. All right, so now that I'm back on the mic kick, my first meal of the day is 3/4 a cup of egg whites with 2 regular eggs, half an avocado, about 6 ounces of lean meat. I do too, and that's what I miss about California. Everybody had a tree. And then I do half a grapefruit. Grapefruit is actually fantastic because it's got HCA in it, hydrocitric acid. Long story short, we all heard of Hydroxycut. Remember?
Yes.
Okay, that was one of their main ingredients was
Oh,
grapefruit. Yeah.
okay.
So you're always going to go well with either those berries, a grapefruit. I do half a grapefruit, and then apples are also really good too, like a good small to medium size apple. Those are going
I
to be
love
your.
apples.
There you go. That would be a
Yes.
better choice than doing grapes and cheese.
Okay.
I'm never going to hate on cheese, but I will say that the hard, not like the green thing that all us Midwesterners put on our spaghetti back in the day, the Parmesan cheese,
Oh,
Kraft
yeah, I don't
Parmesan,
do that. No,
garbage.
I do the grated. I
Yes.
grate it myself.
Yep.
Yes.
Or charcuterie out a little bit and cut you some little pieces of that, because believe it or not,
so
Parmesan cheese has incredible probiotic factors. So it's really good for
Oh,
stomach flora.
okay.
If
Well,
we're
I
talking
can't do
technical.
grapefruit. I can't do grapefruit because some of my meds I'm on,
Okay.
which is just weird to me. But
Yeah.
my daughter explained it to me, and I'm like, yeah, whatever. The dead cheese. Bobby says the dead cheese. Yes, you do have to be careful with grapefruit depending on the medicine. Now, what about fresh oranges? Is that too
Or
much sugar?
yeah, oranges again for vitamin C levels and all that. It's
Mhm.
fantastic. But I'm just thinking about you as an author and the authors that are tuning in tonight, and the millions watching around the world. I was just gonna. The thing of it is you're gonna notice your mood swings after you have a substantially high carbohydrate. Not moods. I'm
Okay.
not saying you're gonna get moody, but as far as getting tired and lethargic, so you're gonna have that sugar
Yes.
peak and then that sugar crash. And
Yes.
the more you stay away from stuff like oranges, I mean, there is definitely oranges are more on the higher glycemic index than
Mhm.
the previous mentioned fruits. So, will it kill you? No. Has it got great vitamins in it? Absolutely. But
Yeah.
if we're trying to keep that mental focus to get the next novel out,
Okay.
I'd put that
So
one on the back burner.
berries, strawberries, and apples. Okay.
hmm And I'm with
And then
feet cheese. I'm with feta cheese too. Feta's a good one
feta
too.
cheese. I love feta cheese.
Have at it, girl.
Oh man, I love blue cheese too.
So do I.
On a
Pe-
salad? No,
On a
no sauce.
salad, on a
No.
steak, on anything.
Yeah, that's true.
I
That's
love
true.
it.
I
I
do like it.
love it.
Yeah,
On a
I love blue
burger.
cheese.
hmm
Oh yeah, on a burger?
Oh
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Um,
That's not
so if
that's not a Hispanic thing though. Trust me, because my wife, when I started being a big old Midwestern boy, I started busting out the blue cheese. She's like, "Ah," and I'm like, "What? You've never had this before?" She's like, "No." So I'm like slowly trying to enter it in, like every now and then, because I do all the cooking here at the house. A
yeah,
little blue cheese will show up. I'm like, "I'll just try it." You see, she's like, "You can see her do that." But I think I'm going to win her over. But yeah,
eventually you will.
our stinky cheeses, she's not down.
Okay, so what about for me it's the snacking. Meals I tend to do better. I cook healthier, but it's snacks that
hmm
are like my biggest downfall.
hmm
Um so what about nuts?
I just saw that on there. I'm so glad that Roberta asked that. Um,
Okay.
I mean, Roberta, you hit the nail on the head. All four of those are going to be your best four. I was going to say
Okay.
almonds, walnuts, pecans, pistachios. All those are great.
I love all
Um,
those.
And now, if you can get away with doing it, like again, we have a certain palate here in America
Mhm.
where
Yeah.
we've been kind of brought up on peanuts, where they're like the salty, dry roasted situation.
Yeah.
So that's part of our palate, you know. Like for
Mhm.
example, Australians, they love Vegemite. No, right? Horrible. But then you give them
That's like
peanut
Scottish
butter.
people who eat haggis. No,
No.
no. I don't care how it's cooked. Well, was it cooked right? No. Nope,
Nope.
nope, nope,
Nope.
nope.
Nope. Nope.
Mm-mm.
Nope.
That's my hard no.
Scottish eggs, yes.
Yes. Oh, Scotch
Haggis,
eggs?
yeah,
Ah,
yeah, yeah,
yes.
yeah. But we're going no with the Vegemite and the haggis. I'm with you.
Yes.
But no, those four would be great. Clamato. Hang on a second. I just can I 1 second. Talk to your people. I'll
Okay.
be right back. I had to show you something.
Okay. Snacking when bored or stress snacking. Yeah, I do that. I do. One of the things I like to do is to take a tortilla shell and then just a very latest possible smear of cream cheese and then roasted turkey. And I roll that up and slice it. Oh, yeah, chicken or turkey roll ups. Oh, Kalamata olives.
So you know I'm not a fraud. My daughter
Oh,
eats 10 to 15 of these a day. Phenomenal olive.
aren't they high in salt? Because I was warned with my blood pressure that I was supposed to stay away from olives and pickles.
Stay away from Clamato olives. I'm like,
Yes.
nope. But for those of you that aren't worried about the sodium intake, they are when it comes to the different I could get into the whole omega fatty acids and all that good stuff, but
Yes.
olives are fantastic for that. And yeah, Clamato olives are wonderful. So if you don't have a blood pressure issue or something like that, highly
Mhm.
recommend adding them to your diet. Or we talked earlier, have your spinach, a little bit of feta
Uh-huh.
cheese, a little bit of red onion, you do the whole cucumber, do that Greek salad up. But
To me,
these
that
are
is just heaven.
mhm,
That is just heaven.
mhm,
Um, but I think it goes to all things in moderation.
mhm.
So I can have a couple of olives. I can't just do what I used to do is eat half the jar. So all
Just to
good
get
things
that,
in
just to get that
moderation.
flavor, though. I'm not gonna have one now because I'll start salivating. But it's
Yes.
yeah, but yeah, just and I mean, actually, Susan, the more we're talking about it here, because you're sitting in front of this, kind of, and all authors out there, treat yourself a little bit. So make yourself a little charcuterie board. Seriously, have a little bit of like put the nuts on there, whether it pecans, almonds, a little bit of mix of each. Have a few olives on there. Put a little bit of Parmesan or goat cheese or one of the harder and the stinkier the better. Just being honest,
Yes.
feta,
Mhm.
whatever. Have it on there. Have a few berries on there, and then just have that, and then that's something you can snack on. I mean, the Mike 10 years ago to be like, all right, got protein bars, we got shakes, we got. You don't need to go that route. Just have something that you first of all enjoy, but just make sure it's something, again, as authors, that's relatively low glycemic, so you don't have this mood swing kind of up
Yes.
and down sugar thing going on. Keep the sugar under control, and healthy fats. As we age, I will tell you, and I'm sure you've all seen the commercials for Prevagen or this, that, and the other thing. Fat is good for your brain. Your
Yes, it
brain needs
is.
fat. And
That's why what people who take high blood pressure meds, the statins,
Mhm.
I cannot take any of them. I have a horrible reaction to it. I get rashes. I get brain fog, like I can't think of anything, let alone words. Chronic explosive diarrhea, the kind where you're afraid to go to the grocery store without backup panties, that kind of thing. Um, it was just horrible. And then I found out, well, I'm serious, it was true. And I'm like, okay, we gotta figure out what the hell's going on. So anyway, I digress. What I found out was with these statins, it removes the fat from your body, right?
Mhm.
Also removes it from your brain, and your
Mhm.
brain needs fat.
Mhm.
So instead of high cholesterol meds, any of the statins, I don't do that. I do niacin, the non-flushing niacin.
Yep. Absolutely. Have you ever heard of something to look at too? And I mean, some people don't react to this well, but have you ever heard of red yeast rice?
I have heard of red yeast rice, and I didn't know what the hell it was.
Don't ask your doctor if it's right for you. Ask me.
Okay. Okay.
uh, I mean, I'm very. I owned a supplement store in West Hollywood,
Yes.
California. So when it comes to supplements, I'm always going to go the natural supplementation way over
Yes.
drugs every time.
Yes.
So that being said, it's something to at least look at. Some people do not react well to red yeast rice, but as far as if you're looking for a good cholesterol natural med, that's what you want to take.
Okay.
So
All right.
because I'm with you, statins are just horrible. And
I
on a
can't.
conspiracy level, I think it's a scam, but that's just me. Not saying you have to believe that. This whole statin thing, not a fan. I
Mm-mm.
think it's bad
Well,
juju.
I was a vegetarian my entire life until I was 35. I didn't eat meat, any meat. So went in after I had Michael, my son Michael,
Mhm.
and I was 35 and it was the yearly checkup and he took blood and everything and my cholesterol level was over 500. Yeah. And he
Genetics.
said, But he said, "Susan, how much?" And I was skinny back then. I mean, compared to what I am now, I was skinny. Um, he said, "Oh my God, how much? What are you frying? Everything? Are you frying your Cheerios?" I said, "Doc, I don't eat fried food. I don't fry anything. I don't fry French fries. I bake them." He said, "Well, how is your cholesterol level this high?" He said, "You get what are you doing eating? Oh, what was it? Some kind of really fatty meat." I can't remember what it was. And I said, "No, I don't eat meat." He said, "Oh." He said, "Well, what do you eat instead of meat?" I said, "Well, usually if a recipe calls for meat, I substitute cheese."
Hey.
He says, "You are going to go home and you're going to get a grilled chicken breast and you're going to drown it in ketchup if you have to and will yourself to eat it because we have got to get this cholesterol level down." And so I did what he said because I was terrified, right? I was absolutely petrified. It's like I can't leave my children, you know. Anyway, um, I started just eating chicken and I lost more weight. And within 3 months, my cholesterol level was down to normal ranges because I cut out almost all cheese. But the only meat I would eat was chicken. Wouldn't eat anything else. Maybe tuna from a can. So, and then I married my husband, and it's all his fault. I came out once with my size 11 jeans, and I said, "This is all your fault." And he said, "What?" I said, "I can't even get these sons of bitches past my ankles. How is that my fault?" I said, "You can afford to buy food. It's easy to be skinny when you're poor because you don't have any money for food."
Truth.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
No,
So
that's
I eat a lot of
it's
beans.
it's funny
Oh,
you
go
said that
ahead.
about. No, I was going to say it's funny you said that about chicken breast though, and I'm so not advocating like a bodybuilding lifestyle. But when you do see those guys, the bodybuilders that are getting ready for the shows, that have
Yes.
like 2% body fat and they're skinless, every one of them are just sitting around eating chicken, chicken, chicken,
Yes.
chicken. So I mean, that's there is something to that.
Okay. Shannon wants to know what your feelings are on keto.
Would you like me to say it the way everybody says it down here in Alabama?
Sure.
Hey man, I was thinking about losing some weight. Do you think doing keto is a good idea? I'm like, keto? Are you gonna have that with some Cheetos too? They all say keto, keto.
I love it.
Here's the deal with keto. Glad you brought that up. I have mixed feelings on that. I don't think it's something that you should stay on all the time, but I am a huge believer in what's called carbohydrate cycling. So, for example, instead of just staying keto all the time, for example, like right now, I'm trying to rip things up. I'm usually going about 7 days ish, about 7 days where I'm going extremely, extremely low carbohydrate. And that's when I'll even
Uh-huh.
take that grapefruit out of the equation. Then I
Okay.
take a day where I introduce like sweet potatoes, my grapefruit. I have a day of carb cycling just to what's
Mhm.
called replenish my glycogen stores. So,
Okay.
are you aware of like when we have carbohydrates, your body stores that carb, sugar as
Yes.
glycogen? So, that would be
Okay.
for me when I'm going to the gym training, that's muscle energy, my glycogen stores. So,
Okay.
after it's been burned off and it's gone, then I'm definitely in a state of ketosis where ketones are taking care of my
Mhm.
energy, my brain, and I definitely function better. Going back to trying to make this applicable to writers that are listening, keto is great for writers because I even know like fasting and keto much more
Yes.
mental focus, so much mental
Mhm.
focus. It's when and because your body is literally, especially when you're fasting, we have to look at this from a genetic level and our genes haven't changed that much from the Paleolithic man that had to go hunt, kill to be able to stay
Yes.
alive. So your body
Mhm.
is thinking not like, hey, I'm Susan Tisdale sitting on my desk with a fridge full of food. It's I'm Susan Tisdale, and there might not be another woolly mammoth for a couple of weeks. You better be on point right now, Game on. What's the next word I'm gonna write? Yeah, I mean, it's like so you are razor sharp. So and then going back to keto, the reason I think keto is better again, I'm just saying this from an author
Yeah.
standpoint, not aesthetics, but mental focus, is when we start smashing carbs, especially like take a look at, let's use Thanksgiving dinner. Post
Oh,
Thanksgiving dinner, it's just like you're a mess. That's why everybody just sits there like a zombie with a little bit of drool, watches football all day long. Nothing else you can
yes.
do. You are carved out. So keto for carb control for mental focus, I think is fantastic.
Okay.
Okay, keto with diabetic though, absolutely. Keto is dangerous for diabetics. You need to really worry about your blood sugar levels, and you shouldn't be
Yes.
playing with that. That's something that if you want to go keto and you're a diabetic, you should definitely talk to your doctor about and make sure
Mhm.
like, hey, I'm going to go this low carb. I totally agree with that. But if
Uh-huh.
you're not a diabetic, I think that keto, at least an extremely limited carbohydrate diet, is going to give you better mental focus without a doubt. Like when I go super
Uh-huh.
low carbs, I can just drop fat like crazy, you know.
Okay.
But again, but I'm also supplementing too. So it's like for me, I'm drinking protein. I'm eating a
Uh-huh.
lot of like eggs and beef, and I'm taking with every meal I take this is going to totally gross some people out here, but I'm going for it. Every meal I take, I should show you. I've got these horse tablets. I take amino acids and liver tablets. And liver is something, if there's any potential pregnant mothers on here, my mom told me back when she had me, I don't care. You guys know I'm old. I can date myself. Back in them 70s, when my mom had me, even she talked about then, I ate liver all the time. And my mom was a nurse in labor and delivery for 50 years. And she would always talk about the benefits of organ meat to pregnant mothers. And,
Uh-huh.
when Karina got pregnant with Maggie, I was like, amen. So I'm not going to eat liver. I can't do it. You cooked spinach, that's me and liver.
Mm.
We're good.
No,
Um,
that's my hard no. Add that
yep,
to my list of hard no's.
yep. We'll take a pass. But I do have tablets that are these grass-fed Argentinian beef liver. And I take those with every meal. And I will tell you, when I'm doing that, with a low carb diet, I'm able to keep and grow muscle tissue, which is for what I do is important. Authors,
Yes.
you write the character, I become the character. So that's what I do.
Yes.
And that being said, something if you're going to go keto, I would just make sure no matter what you do, the one caveat is make sure you're getting plenty of fat and plenty of protein. And if you're trying to do keto and you're vegan, I would highly recommend going and getting a supplemental protein like the ones that I use. And I believe it or not, even though my granddaddy was a butcher from Ohio, and these are there for a reason. I took 1 month. I said, I'm gonna try this vegan stuff for a month and see what happens. But what I did is I took it's called brown rice protein. So there's like pea protein, brown rice protein, hemp protein, soy protein. There's all these different plant-based proteins. The most palatable one that I've found, because they got that grit to it that I just don't dig. Brown rice protein. So if you're doing keto and you're vegan, avocados and some type of supplemental protein are a must. So
they're talking about dirty keto for diabetics. I don't know what that is. But men should not have high doses of soy.
No. And no, don't do it, Mike. Don't do it.
Don't do it. It affects everything. It does. Because soy, when women are going through menopause, one of the things they recommend to us is soy, right? A lot of your natural like estrogen supplements that you get over the counter, it's high doses of soy because it mimics estrogen. Yes. But when men take it, when men have too much soy, it's going to lower your sex drive. It's going to you're going to be tired all the time. It's just going to change things in your mental health. So men should not have soy.
I'm sitting back here trying not to do it, but I guess you could say, what's the word I'm looking for? Verbally kick a demographic of testicularly atrophied men in America in the balls really quick?
Sure. Go ahead.
And everybody here, from what I've seen, likes Vikings and Highlanders and stuff.
Yes.
Y'all like manly dudes, right?
Yes.
We're the least manly dudes in the country. Seattle. There's a bunch of soy boys walking around drinking their soy lattes with their pinkies up. And if you need a dude that's going to get you out of a bind, that's going to show up with 21-inch guns, it ain't going to be in Seattle. That's what I think of soy protein. Sorry.
I'm not worried.
Alpha be gone. Alpha be gone. Alpha be gone.
Alpha be gone. Alpha be gone.
Yeah, don't make fun of those betas anymore.
I've seen a lot of like Instagram and TikTok videos lately of, what happens if someone invades America, like they're dumb enough. Well, first of all, I don't think they're dumb enough. But number two, our Southern boys have got it. I'm not worried. I'm not worried.
Just let us do us, and ladies, you'll be safe.
Exactly.
But
I ain't afraid to fight. I mean, I am not afraid,
I know you're not. I've seen videos and I know you. I'd put you right next to me or any of these other guys any day of the week. But I'm too
damn old. I'm just too damn old. I don't have time for this shit. I got books to write. You want to invade? Do it this weekend. I have an opening. It'll be over by Sunday night. And you're going to be sorry, very, very sad that you did that. But anyway,
but we've got ourselves a generation of how do I say this? After living on the what is it? The left coast, living out in Los Angeles, between LA, Portland, and Seattle. If bad guys from Russia decide to attack America, if they come Pacific way, they will not have much resistance.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm died. People are saying I'm died. I can't. Milk toast. Shannon, your language.
Shannon.
I live in Idaho. I'm not worried. Diana says she lives in Idaho and she's not worried. Yeah, you shouldn't be if you're in Idaho.
I got a couple buddies that moved there, and they're if things hit. What is that word that we're looking for? If hits the fan.
If shit hits the fan, we did say some dirty words.
Okay, if shit hits the fan, they're the kind of guys you want living out there.
Yeah, I'm not worried. I'm not worried.
Yeah.
Because I think then the not genetic, but just natural instinct. I digress. We're gonna stop.
No, I know,
but turn political.
But I know you, and I know where you're going with this, and I agree. It's like I want my wife to be a woman. I want her to do
Yes.
women. Now, does my wife shoot guns? Does she take Krav Maga? Would I mess with her? Absolutely not. So I'm not saying that she's just like this, binary opposition, just passive and feminine. No, she's like you, Susan. You know her. She's an ass kicker. But
We're
at the same
gonna
time,
kick ass
and take names.
Yeah,
Amen.
that's all we're doing.
But at the same time, watching her being a mommy is a great thing. And she knows the same from me.
Yes.
It's like there are times that I'm the last guy that's like, hey, with my wife beater on, go get me a turkey pot pie. Turn on another episode of Welcome Back, Kotter. I'm not that guy, but sometimes
Karina would kick you so hard.
she'd kill me.
Your,
But
your grandbabies would come out shaking.
Amen. But she does love it when I man up and make decisions and do things like
Yes.
that. So I mean, it's like her thing is because she has, as you know, what her job is, extremely
Yes.
stressful.
Yes.
She gets home from work and she's just like, I don't want to make any decisions. I'm like, what do you want for dinner? Because I told you I do the cooking. And she's like,
Yeah.
just don't ask. Just do
it. Don't
Where do you want to
ask,
go for
just
dinner?
Do it.
Just do it. So that's
Yes,
where me,
you're
I
tired
just
of
step up.
making decisions. Yeah, she has a very high stress
So,
job.
Yep. So anyway, we
And
both
that's
digress,
okay.
but-
That's okay. Kevin and I, we're a team, absolutely a team. And I learned when I hear people are getting married, the only advice I give them is this. If it's not a hill you are willing to die on, then it's not important enough to argue over. Right? You need to
That's
be
right.
a team. That's just my personal opinion. Kevin's got his strengths, I've got my strengths, and together we make it work. I suck at numbers. I hate, despise, loathe, makes me physically ill. If I were suddenly to have to be in charge of all the paying of the bills, no, I don't want that responsibility. And he's really good at it. And I have never once in 18 years we've been together had to worry if the water was going to get shut off or the power or the heat or whatever. I've never had to worry about a bill comes in, it is immediately paid. So that is one of his many strengths, and he's got a lot. As you can tell, he's a great builder, a great carpenter. And I am more nurturing than he is because that's who he is and that's who I am. We all have different love languages, right? And we've talked about when we create characters, we need to decide what their love language is because that will make a deeper character for your reader.
Mhm.
So anyway, you need to be partners, you need to be a team, and you need to realize that there are some things your partner is going to be better at than you are. And there's going to be certain things that you are better at than they are. And that's okay. And that's what makes it work. So, but I digress. I digress once again.
Not digress at all, because you actually got me thinking about something. And fellow English major here,
Yeah.
I was an English teacher for 9 years. And I will tell you that my wife, the first time I went to her house in Ceres, like Modesto area, California, at her parents'
Mhm.
house, I'm going through her closet. And this is a cheesy movie from the late 90s. I remember it's called Dead Man on Campus. And I remember the main character guy grabs it. He's like, "You've got a math award. Karina had a math award." And I looked at it and I was like, "A math award." Same thing with you. Numbers make me sick to my stomach. And I'm just like, she's got awards for it. I was like, who has a math award? But yeah, so
Kevin could do fractions in his head. And I don't mean, a half plus a half. I'm talking what is 3/8 plus 9/72 or whatever in his head like that. I call it sorcery and witchcraft.
it is. Because
It
it
is.
is. It's exactly what
But
it is.
he will tell you numbers never lie. Numbers always tell you the truth.
That's the one thing that's a constant.
Amy's asking, do you ever read the books that you do covers for?
Well, yes. And I tried to do a show out of it because I was like,
I remember that.
yeah, I was calling it, was it Reaction to Romance? I was calling it Reaction to Romance. See,
Yes.
I started watching all these reaction videos. People would like watch a music video and react to it. So I'm like, I am an English major. I was an English teacher. I am on the cover of novels. So I started doing that where I was reacting to them. And then I would put all the time and effort into, editing these videos and trying to make them funny. And it got to, I got to the point because I know that brevity is huge because the average person's attention span is quite short. not authors and folks like us, but
Yes.
most people were. So I'd be like, remember, I'd be like, hey, Susan, can you give me one page that you like? And I would take and I would read the page that Susan gave me from Ian, and I would break it down and I would talk about it and do all that. And I would put like, I'm talking like 4 or 5 hours of work in each one.
Yes.
And I'd see 13 views, 1 comment. I'm just like,
It's so worth it.
wasn't worth
It takes a long time to build an audience.
it
Ruthie says, I believe the women here hating to always make decisions stems from us having to do it 8 hours at work daily. Yes.
Yeah.
But our men have to do it too at their jobs, right? So
Yeah, but that might be
Yeah.
a difference in like, yeah, I mean, we all have men and women, no matter what they
we're just wired
say,
differently.
we are wired differently. And
Yes.
I think that men have, I don't want to say we multitask better, but we might compartmentalize better. Like, all right,
That's
doing
what
this
you
work,
do.
doing this. So it's like,
Yes.
it's not a big deal for us to do like, all right, where do you want to go to dinner? Okay, fine, I'll make the decision. Boom. Where a woman might be like, I'm just done. But we're like, all right.
Yes. So the best way to handle that is say, hey, honey, guess where I made reservations for tonight? And then she says whatever the restaurant is, and then you go, exactly, that's where we're going.
It seems like every movie that I would watch where it would be like that really swept a woman off her feet, the man would not only have reservations at some trendy restaurant all taken care of, but he would have a dress for him in a box that he already had fitted and the shoes. You know what I mean? It's like
Pretty
you
woman.
have to think of nothing. Just literally walk into the room and put the clothes on and the rest is taken care of. Limo will be here at 6, you know?
I would not allow Kevin to purchase clothing for me because in his mind, I'm like a size 6. My ankles aren't even a size 6. Well, you're so tiny. The hell I am. Well, that was when we first got together. And now he just says I'm voluptuous.
Mhm.
I'm his Renaissance woman. And I tell him, I know you're bullshitting, but honey, it's working.
Hey, truth be told, Karina and I talk about this all the time. And I mean, all right, let's keep it real here. Most people on here probably see me on a cover or two.
Yes.
You've seen the kind of girls that I'm on covers with.
Yes.
And Karina would always be like, and I'm like, you want to know the truth? I'll just say it. I'm into chunky Latinas. It's what I like. I'm sorry. Yes, they're all super skinny, Eastern European, blonde, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Great. No, I mean, nothing
No.
against them, but it's not for me. That's what I like. So I'm happy where I'm at, you know. So tell Kevin I'm with him. Voluptuous, good.
Yes. And yeah, there's a lot of me to love.
No, amen.
Let's see. Oh, Shannon's talking about how much hard it is to build your audience at YouTube and stuff.
Okay.
It is a lot of work. My son just got his 100,000th subscriber. I was enjoying that moment with Shannon the other day. Took him from 2008 to last month. He just got his plaque today.
That's
He's
awesome.
at 102K now. The first 1,000 subs and the 100K subs are the hardest. Yes. Oh, Tina says your wife is amazing, and she is. I just Karina. I just love her, and I love her story and everything. So
No, it's-
anyway,
and thank
So-
you too for helping with that, by the way. For those, long story short, I'll make it quick. My wife and I are terrorists in Nicaragua. I'm not kidding. We're on the terrorist list because we stood up for freedom in Nicaragua.
Yes.
And it's a whole long story. I'm not going to get into it now, but my wife
Mm-mm.
saw something that she was passionate about from her country. She was born there and they left at gunpoint
Yes.
when she was 1 year old. And
Yes.
they saw what the dictator's doing to the people now, especially the old people that just wanted their benefits, and they took them
Mhm.
away and bad stuff happened. And then they started imprisoning and killing. And so Karina wanted to stand up and I stood with her, but she is amazing. So, and
She is
Susan, you
amazing.
helped a lot and we really appreciate you.
I
So,
spread the word because it was pissing me off too,
I know
and
you
it's
did.
still going on, but people forget.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just,
Not to change the subject, but Ashley Doris asked, Michael, what is your prep process for your cover shoots?
well, I get up in the morning and I have 3 biscuits and gravy. I have lots of bacon. Doritos are good too. Oh, you really want to know? You want me to tell you what I do? All right.
Yeah.
All right. So right now I'm getting ready to play a character where I'm going to have lots of skin. Well, I mean, my arms and shoulders for the most part,
Yes.
but I need to get in shape. You know, I have not been, you know, it's been since, what is it? Post-COVID, PC, whatever it is,
Post-COVID.
whatever era we're in.
Post-COVID. Yes.
Yeah. So I, you know,
Pre-pandemic.
pre-pandemic. I've been a dad here in Alabama for the last
Yes.
couple years. So I still work out every day, but I haven't done it with the vigor that I had when I know that I take my shirt off every other week, right?
Yes.
So what I do is I'm a big believer for me because I'm a former fat kid. So I have a super slow metabolism. Now, for those of you that don't know, there are 3 different body types. There's the ectomorph. Those are the ones
Mhm.
that we all hate. They can
Yeah,
eat a
because
pizza and not gain a pound.
exactly. They can burp and lose 10.
I hate you people. There's the mesomorph that's kind of like right in the middle, either a little bit to the skinny or a little bit to the chunkier, but pretty much in the
Uh-huh.
middle where they always look pretty good. And
Yeah.
then there's the endomorph, the someone that's genetically heavy, and that was me.
Mhm.
So I'm always worried about I can get big, no problem. Like at one point, I think my arms are almost 23 inches. I mean, I got
Uh-huh.
really big, but it's hard for me to get ripped. So what I do is I do use this fasting. So I'll get up in the morning and I have a cup of black coffee and I take all my vitamins, my minerals, and then I feed my daughter. And I love the gym that I go to as daycare. So then I take her there and I do my workout and then I do cardio. Then I
Mhm.
come back and I feed her. So let's say I work out at like 9, 10 o'clock till about 11. Get
Mhm.
home, feed her right about like noon, 1 o'clock ish. I have my first meal.
Uh-huh.
And usually what I do is I have one of these shakes just because
Yeah.
your body, it's pre-digested protein. It gets in your system fast.
Okay.
Then my next meal was that eggs, beef,
Mhm.
avocado situation, depending on the day, grapefruit. Then I usually wait. And the next meal that I have is usually another shake. And then before bed, or but not before bed, my last meal, which is usually around like 5 or 6, I usually have about 10 to 12 ounces of some form of meat. I'm a Midwesterner. I'm a huge fan of beef. So it's either beef or bison usually. And then
Mhm.
I have just as big a salad as I want. I make sure my last meal of the day has like 0 starchy carbs, no matter what.
Okay.
And I do that. I'm a real big fan of, like you mentioned, the big Lebanese guy that cracks your neck. Love
Yes.
Lebanese food. So I have
Oh.
za'atar, that za'atar with like olive oil
Oh,
and lemon
God, that
juice.
stuff is so good. That
Hmm.
should be illegal.
It should be. It's
It should.
crack. I literally, I won't get up again, but I've got an industrial size one up there, right? And
Okay.
but anyway, so I put that. I make myself a salad, smash that. And I don't deprive my wife. Like when I cook, I make like tonight. I made her. I go to Costco and they have like gyro meat. So I got some of
Oh,
that big naan bread, made gyro meat, put some spinach and onions in there, some tzatziki. I hooked her up with
I
that. For
love that
me,
scene.
it's so good, right?
It is so good.
It's like the
I
dill and
t
the cucumber.
exactly. I take, I will sauté vegetables,
Hmm.
onions, peppers, broccoli, whatever
Hmm.
vegetable I have, and then, put the zaki on it, or however you say it, and then
Hmm.
serve it over brown rice, and it's
Amazing,
like
isn't it?
crack.
It is.
Oh, it is. It's
I
amazing.
totally
Anyway.
agree. Yeah. No, I'm salivating again too. Um, yes to that, Susan. But so then yeah, then after about 6 o'clock, then I'm fasting until about noon the next day. And my fasting
Okay.
thing is like there's tons of different, as far as all right, let me say it like this. The bodily process that takes and requires the most amount of energy that could potentially age us the fastest is the digestion process. Because I'm
Okay.
gonna instead of being, do you guys want me to talk in mic terms or do you want me to be
Sure.
more
Whatever.
technical?
No.
All
My
right,
terms is
I'll
fine.
just be me tonight. All right. All right.
Okay.
This is the MWF thing. So basically, whenever you eat something, your body's like, oh hell, we got a lot going down here. Stop everything else. We got to digest this. And it focuses
Mhm.
on digestion. So the
Okay.
less you have worried about, the less you have to digest all day long. That's why going back to like when I did put on a lot of size, I was doing the bodybuilding diet, like 6 to 8 small meals a day. I'm eating all day
Yeah.
long. Like the
Mhm.
worst thing you can do because my body all day is just trying to digest all this food that I'm taking. And I mean,
Okay.
when I say all this food, when I put my size on, I was doing 36 eggs a day with about 12 yolks, pound and a half to 2 pounds of lean beef, 5 to 6 protein shakes, 3 sweet potatoes, 4 cups of rice, and as much green vegetables as I could eat. Horrible all day long. I get it. But I mean, that's when I got jacked. But point
Yeah.
is that my body, I was probably beating the living hell out of my digestive system, out of
Mhm.
everything else, because my body was not focused on my brain, joints, everything else. It was literally just going nonstop in digestive mode. So I like
Okay.
the fact that as I get to be in the later part of my romance career, I am trying to extend that as long as I can by staying youthful. And part of that is not digesting food all day long. So for me, that's why
Okay.
I like fasting. Plus, the more you fast, the easier it is to keep your calories in a certain area. And I'm trying
Okay.
to stay at about like 2,500 to 3,000 for me. So that just makes it easier.
Well, that explains a lot. I think it's partly the meds that I'm on, but I have like zero appetite until about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And then it's like, it's not really an appetite. It's like, you have not eaten yet today.
Hmm.
So usually, I shouldn't do this, but usually I just get a slice of toast. But I need to stop that. I need to go with the berries and the strawberries and the things like that.
Allow me to make that better.
Okay.
So I'm your guy. Have you ever heard of Dave's Killer Bread? It's got the guy that's like,
Yes.
okay.
Yes.
You know where they make that? Where Kazi's from, in Milwaukee, Oregon.
Oh, okay. How is Kazi?
Man, I'll tell you, I miss a lot of my friends, but I love it. I love him so much.
I love Kazi.
He's such a
He's
good
just
guy.
he's just a gentle giant, and he's absolutely hilarious.
He is.
He
If
is.
any of you don't know who we're talking about, look up. Go to. Well, actually, this would help me out too. Go to IMDb, and you can look
Oh
me up.
yeah.
Michael
think I
Wayne
had that.
Foster. Yeah, that
Mhm.
helps. That helps the cause. But look up Kazi, Cazzy, Louis, Louis, and then
Yes.
his last name's a tough one, Cherigino. It's Cerehigno, something like that. But you'll see who we're talking about. He's just, yeah. Did you ever see the commercial with him when he wore the wedding dress in the Doritos commercial?
No, I didn't see that. I'll have to look for that. I'll have
You
to
got to
look for
see it.
that.
He is hilarious. But
He is.
yeah.
He's a good guy though. He loves his nieces and nephews so much.
He does.
So.
Why was I
Oh
talking
crap!
about
It's
Cassie?
huh?
Where's I going with this? Why? Oh, Dave's Killer Bread. Well, I know that.
Dave's Killer Bread.
Dave's Killer Bread. Get you some Dave's Killer Bread. They've also got the
Uh-huh.
They got the lower calorie where it's like 80 calorie a
Yes.
slice and regular. Mash
Yeah.
your avocado and make you some avocado toast.
Oh, I love avocado.
Problem
It's
solved.
so hard to get good avocados here, though.
Yeah.
It really is.
I know.
But guacamole, that's good for you, right?
So one thing you can do is I'm kind of like, they always talk about farm to table, fresh, this, that, and the other
Yes.
thing. I don't know if it's farm to table, but whatever's on sales, the way I roll,
Okay.
So sometimes I go into the grocery store and they've got like the avocado or the, like the mash already made
Oh,
and it's sealed. You know what I'm talking about?
okay. Yeah.
Like they'll have like, it's like when you look at your guacamole, make sure it's like avocados, tomatoes.
Yes.
It's not some whip with canola. Stay away from
Oh,
the
God,
seed
no.
oils. They're horrible.
No, I don't add any oil to my. It's guacamole.
Is
It's onions.
Mm-hmm.
It is Roma tomatoes seeded. You take all the seeds out,
Mm-hmm.
and garlic, fresh garlic, not
Yep.
garlic salt or garlic paste or anything like that. Fresh garlic,
Yep.
and shoot, what else do I add? There's one more thing that I add. I forget.
Jalapenos, cilantro.
No, I don't do cilantro in it. I can put jalapenos in it sometimes, depending on who I'm making it for. But I make my own taco seasoning mix,
Mm-hmm.
and I add a couple pinches of that in there.
Yep. That's it. But
That's
if you see it at the store, like I've got a couple that I got in there the other day, they were on sale for like $1.49, or normally like $5. I'm like, guess
Uh-huh.
I'm eating this week. And then next
There
week,
you
if I
go.
go in there and avocados are on sale, then I'll go back to avocados. But I
Yeah.
think someone put here, Diana put eggs are too expensive, as everything is now. But that being
Yes.
said, so whatever's on sale that week, like last week, asparagus was on sale for like $1.99. So last week, and this is the thing, going back to what I do to prep for what I do. The best way, if you're really trying to lose weight, I'm not talking about brain
Yeah.
power, I'm talking purely aesthetics, is to just eat the same thing over and over again. That's the only part as a foodie. Susan, I know you're a fellow foodie.
Uh-huh.
That's what sucks, is you have to eat the same stuff over and over. But for
Yeah.
me, I'll just take a week and be like, eating asparagus this week. Next week, broccoli's on sale. Eating broccoli this week. So
Yes.
that's how I do it. So just
Oh, pico de gallo, that's good too.
Mhm. But
Yeah.
substitute for avocados. Well, as far as a substitute for avocados, no, bananas and avocados are apples and oranges. Bananas are just a big high glycemic sugar bomb, and avocados are just pure fat for the most part. So
Uh-huh.
I would
I
say
don't
nuts,
nuts. Yes.
almonds,
Okay.
walnuts, pecans, and pistachios. Remember our friend that said that earlier?
Yeah.
Those are the four.
best ones.
Those are the four.
Those are the best ones. Somebody
And you-
says my sister. Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, I was going to say, and if you notice, going back to our talk about Lebanese and all that stuff,
Uh-huh.
Middle Eastern, so they call it the Herculean diet. Pretty much
Okay.
any diet coming out of the Middle East, like the Mediterranean diet,
Mhm.
salmon, this sort of stuff, that is all fantastic because it's loaded with good, healthy fats.
Yes.
Olive
And you
oil.
need fats. You've got to have fats in your diet. You just
have
have
it.
to.
Yep.
Your brain has got to have fats.
Mm-hmm.
You just do. Um,
Oh, the other one
let's
too is I forgot. I think I forgot on my shake thing when someone asked me
yeah.
earlier. I don't do this the first meal. So if you're talking aesthetics again, like what I do to get ready, my first meal, I make sure I never have fat because one of the good things, it's kind of a catch-22. The good thing and the bad thing with fat is fat slows down the glycemic response. So let's say,
Mhm.
for example, I'm knocking down whey protein, but I've got like a bunch of peanut butter in there or almond butter in there. That's
Yeah.
going to slow down absorption, which is good later in the day. But that first meal, you want to just inject nitro speed in that protein into those muscle cells. So the
Okay.
first meal, I like to have more of, I keep all my fats out of it. Later in the day, like now, I put a tablespoon of almond butter. And
Okay.
you have Costco there, right?
Oh yeah, I love Costco. Oh God. I'm not allowed to go by myself or without a chaperone.
Did you
And I can't take my best friend Shelly because she's the one that always says, "Oh, you need it, buy it."
did you ever see Modern Family? There was this
Oh
show
my
in
God,
there.
I love Modern Family. That
Do
was
you,
so good.
do you remember when the two dudes were in there one time? And I think it was
Yes.
okay. And he's like going on and on. He's like, I don't want to be here at
I
Costco. And
don't
he's
want to
like,
be here.
they have an amazing wine selection. And I'm like, right?
Exactly.
It's so good. But anyway, I digress. The point is that Kirkland almond butter, in my opinion, is the best because look at the ingredients. Almonds, zero sodium. It's just crushed up almonds, and it is
Uh-huh.
great. So that's the only one
Okay.
I'll buy because you've got to be very careful. A lot of people, when they get into like their peanut butters and almond butters and all
Yeah.
this, look at the back and you'll see them sneaking in those seed oils and salt and sugar. Like if you see anything other than, like if you're eating peanut butter and you see anything other and or salt, you don't want it. Same with
Yeah.
almond butter, same with cashew butter. That's it.
Mhm. I like real butter
You know,
because it's the healthiest, I think. Real butter.
Mhm. Do you so a friend of mine from church, Brian, I got to give Brian a shout out because this dude's a piece. He's like one of the first Alabama dudes that I met, and I'm like, oh, it's real. It's happening. So he's looking at me, he's like, hey man. I'm like, what's up? And he's like, you all know why all these people got all these problems in their head and whatnot, going on, I don't know, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's disease. I'll tell you why. It's skim milk. You give that baby whole milk. Hell, you give her cream if you want to, but just don't give her no skim milk. And I'm like, all right, he goes, that fat in there is good for the brain, I'm telling you. And I'm like, Brian, truer words have never been spoken. I know, man.
Exactly.
I know. And I raise my own garden too, I have you know.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. But yeah, I do not do margarine at all. I refuse. I refuse.
I don't care what
Um,
Fabio says. I won't eat it.
it does not taste like butter. I'm
No, it does
sorry.
not.
No.
Not even
And if it
close.
does, it's because of all the chemicals you added to it to make it taste that way. So,
Do you realize it's a molecule away from being plastic?
yes, and it
Mhm.
was originally created to feed turkeys, but the turkeys were dying from it, so they gave it to humans? Come on. Come on.
But I trust the FDA. I trust the people that made the food pyramid because there's no diabetics in America today, is there? Our health is great.
No.
Trust your government, everyone. I do. Whatever they say, I do. It's because I don't feel capable as a man being able to read and decipher things. I just like, you know what? My government cares about me, so I'm gonna do what they say. And that's what I do. So hey. Oh, the sheeple.
I'm here
The
from the
sheeple.
government and I'm from the government. I'm here to help. Oh,
Scariest
Land
thing that they
O'Lakes
could
whole
ever say.
butter.
Oh.
Land O'Lakes whole butter. Yes. So anyway, we
Mm.
have been on for an hour and a half.
Have we really?
Yes, it's 8:00.
You ever notice when we get together? How long were we sitting outside on my porch?
Oh my God, it had to been after midnight.
Oh yeah, see? So I mean,
That was a fun night.
don't threaten me with a good time.
Don't threaten me with a good time. Oh God, that was so much fun.
Yes, it was.
Oh, what happens in Alabama stays in Alabama. Anyway, my husband had a great time. He just thinks you and Karina are just awesome, and he says to tell you hello.
Well, tell him the
Um,
same. I loved hanging out with him. We had a good time.
Yeah, he's a good guy. He's
Yeah.
got his Ford Lightning. I told you that, right?
Oh, you did tell me that. Is he driving it?
Yes.
No,
All
I'm
the
no.
time.
Some people like look at Ferris Bueller's buddy Cameron. The car stayed in the
Yeah.
garage the whole
Oh,
time.
yeah.
You know, I mean,
No, we drive it all over. We
That's
drive it all
awesome.
over.
that's
We
awesome.
we we have put, I don't know, 2,000-3,000 miles on it since we got it in December.
Oh,
Yeah,
well,
just driving around town. Hey, I want a donut. I'm running up to Casey's. Whoop. and come right back. I forgot milk at the grocery store. Run into Pekin just so you can drive it because it
That's
is so much
awesome.
fun.
Now, does he take it out in the snow up there, though? I do have to ask
Oh
that.
yes, it was perfect in the snow. Absolutely, it's an F-150. That son of a gun weighs 8,600 pounds.
Yep. You're doing just fine.
Doing just fine. I love
Doing
that
just
truck.
fine.
But anyway, um, it's been great. Thank you for coming, and please come again. Oh yes, we will have Michael on again and again and again and again because this
Oh.
is just too much fun. It is. It's just way too much fun. Oh Lord,
You know-
I'm just giddy. I'm
You know
just
what's
giddy.
you know what's funny, Susan, is you remember what I said in my Facebook post today? Like I knew we were gonna. I was like, I don't really know what we're gonna
remember
talk
good time.
about, but I know we're gonna have a good time. So
Exactly. And I've had a great time. I hope everybody else has. Yeah, but we're gonna sign off because it's after 8.
can I
And
plug a couple of things before we go? Real quick?
plug whatever you want to plug, honey. You plug away.
Okay, well, thank you. All right. So I was going to say a couple things that are going on. I am going back to film the Thundermans movie. So if you happen to have kids Carter's age that watched Nickelodeon at all, Strong Door is returning.
Uh-huh.
2 movies that I had come out within this last year. If you watch them, I'll probably get 7 cents. So good looking out. One is, I think they're both available on all the streaming platforms. One, I play a Nazi captain, Captain Rolf Warner, in Wolfhound, which is it's basically, I'm just going to say it, turn your brain off, tons of action, beautiful set
Yes.
pieces, stuff's blowing up all over the place. And it's got some really good looking guys in it. Like James
Yes.
Maslow and Trevor Donovan are good looking cats.
And
fair-
you played your part so well, I wanted to hit you. I'm like, Michael, you cannot play these parts. This is not you, goddammit. I hated it. But you did such a good job. No, that's what I'm saying. I hated the character. You did such a good job.
That makes
I
my
didn't
day.
like you.
Yeah,
Now, the only time I really got pissed off was when you were on Lethal Weapon, the TV show,
yeah.
and he hit you. I stood up out of my chair and I said, God damn it, they just hit my Michael. And I had to stop and think, okay, he's an actor. He's not your second son. He's an actor. It's all good. It wasn't a real punch. It was just for the role.
Can I tell
But
you, since you brought that up, I will
Uh-huh.
say they didn't get the voice. Like when he punched me, I'm supposed to say, "What the hell, man?" And they
Yeah.
didn't get it on that take. If you have any idea how much money they paid me to come back to that was at the Universal Studio, just to say, "What the hell, man?" Because they had to do it in like post production.
They had to dub it. Yeah.
Yeah, like you need to come back. And then I looked and I got the check for it, and I was like, when I was teaching, I was in the wrong business.
Yeah.
I
Right?
was like, I literally walked in and said, "What the hell, man?" And this, okay, thanks.
Works for
And
me.
I got to get punched by homie the clown, Damon Wayans. So that was fun.
Oh, I love Damon Wayans. Yeah,
he
but I
is-
was so
he-
mad at him. I'm like, oh, you better hope I never meet you in person. And I had to stop myself and go, okay, Susan, you need to calm down. Number 1. Number
Well,
2, he's
thanks-
a grown ass man. Number 3, he's an actor. But yeah,
Well, thanks for having my back. I appreciate
yes,
that.
always.
So Wolfhound, if you want to watch a good World War
Yes.
II mindless explosions, I highly recommend
Yes.
it. And then the other one came out on Amazon Prime. Is it on Prime? It's on Amazon for sure. And it's called My Best Friend's Exorcism. And if y'all can remember, I'm getting very comfortable using the word y'all now. I'm from the north, so we say you guys, if you guys, but now all day long, y'all,
Okay.
y'all. My Best Friend's Exorcism. And do you remember, Susan? Do you remember back in like the 80s and early 90s? There were those big bodybuilder wannabe kind of clown dudes that would like go into churches and high school gymnasiums and like rip a phone book in half and then praise Jesus. The Power Team.
Yes.
I play the
Yes.
leader of the Power Team. And that's why
good.
we filmed that. We filmed that 2 weeks before I moved to Alabama, and that's when I
Uh-huh.
had my hair still down to here.
Yeah.
I was the only actor that had my hair. They cut my hair into a mullet, so I moved to Alabama with a mullet. America.
I love it. I love it. I love
Yeah.
it. What was the one? It was so good. And you were wearing the cut off Daisy Dukes.
You watched Overrun. Thank you.
Yes, I did. I love that movie. Overrun was phenomenal.
Isn't it crazy how, like, for some reason, I don't. I know I'm not a brain surgeon or even an anesthesiologist, but every character I play is that same, like, which way did he go, George? Which way did he go?
George?
That was who he was too.
Yes, but your role in Lethal Weapon was very, very good because it allowed you to be intelligent. I'm like, Michael needs more roles like that. They keep casting him as this big dumb guy, and he's not. Not all big guys are dumb,
Thank you.
right?
Thank you very much, Susan. I'll take
And
that.
my son used to have that problem. When he was in kindergarten, he was 2 heads taller than everybody else, right? He's the
Hmm.
same age as them. And all the other mothers thought he was a special ed kid who'd been held back twice. No, he's fine.
Yeah.
Just like your boy,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, yeah.
And people, I think, expected less of him because of his size. And I hated that. And he is so, you've met Michael. You've
Mhm.
met him. He's a
Mhm.
great kid. Is he
Love
not
him.
smart?
He is
He
very smart.
he is very smart, but he was diagnosed with autism last year, so we're dealing with that. But he's doing just absolutely phenomenal. But he is just bloody brilliant. And it really pisses me off the stereotypes. So I don't know, maybe you need to just start making your own movies. Maybe you and I should start a production company
I'm
down in
in.
the South where we write the scripts, we do the casting. That would be so much fun. And we
I would
cast
love it.
bigger men, blonde women, not stereotyped.
Wouldn't that be great? That everything you said, Susan. First of all, that sounds awesome, and
Uh-huh.
I've got someone.
I have scripts. You
I've
know I have
got.
scripts.
I know. I was like, do we have any writers for this? But but it's funny you said that because talking about what happened to Michael, absolutely, I sympathize with that because do you even know what it was like? I mean, as a kid, I went through exactly what he went through. But
Yes.
do you know what it's like when I'd walk up to people and they'd be like, "Hey, what do you do for a living?" I'd be like, "I'm a high school English teacher." Wait, or better yet, I'm a teacher. Oh, you're a gym teacher, huh? No, I teach English. Huh? I mean, it's just
Yes.
they just can't fathom that you can be big and actually, yeah, it's just oh well.
And
But
that's Hollywood's fault. I blame
absolutely.
Hollywood for a lot of things. Number one, I get readers who will review my books and say, I had one in particular leave a review saying it was so unrealistic because my characters bathed, everybody had clothing, and I didn't talk about all the diseases, because people weren't clean and blah blah blah. That is so bullshit. That is Hollywood's interpretation of what medieval times were like. They bathed all the time. Maybe not every day, but at least once a week. And then they washed up. And Braveheart, oh my God, how they cast the peasants in Braveheart. No, nobody was wearing rags. The only people who were wearing rags were your urchins on the street in like Edinburgh, in Inverness. Everybody else, they bartered, they traded, they had bright, brilliant colored clothing. But Hollywood doesn't portray the Hollywood of today does not portray that. Now, if you go back to Earl Flynn movies, look at those. They
Wait a
portrayed
minute.
them correctly.
Wait a minute. Hollywood isn't real. Like what they say isn't always true.
Exactly.
Hang on, I'd never heard this before. Wait a second.
Brent, no, I know there's nothing at all historically accurate about Braveheart. I knew that going in and still loved the movie. But Hollywood's history is obnoxious.
Dearest Susan, I have been to Oz and I have seen behind the curtain. And everything you're saying is I'll probably never work again anyway. Oh well. You're right.
Exactly. I was working on a script once. I wanted to turn one of my books into a movie, and I was talking to another author. This was years ago. And she said, "Oh, honey, don't bother with the screenplay. Nobody in Hollywood reads. It's all concept, it's all conceptual. This is my idea." And then they put it into a screenplay.
Do you have any idea how many movies? I don't know. Sometimes I like to watch the how movies are made or whatever it might be.
Uh-huh.
But how many movies actually are started and they're halfway through and the script is constantly changing at the ending? I mean, it's like
Uh-huh.
you know how many moving parts there are to make a motion picture, TV show, whatever it is.
Yes.
All the way down to, I mean, not only the set pieces, but wardrobe, casting, everything.
Yes.
And it's like they're just doing stuff. Some of these are just doing stuff on the fly. It's
Uh-huh.
unbelievable. And then that's where you always hear about like all the money they spend in reshoots and they got to go back and redo this and redo that.
Uh-huh.
And I mean,
It's mind-boggling, isn't it?
for the amount of money getting thrown around, it's crazy.
You and I need to start our own production company.
Yes,
We do. We just need to. We just do because we still haven't talked about my last movie idea about the haunted house.
Oh,
That's a private conversation for later.
that's right. Dearest viewers, we'll get back to you later.
Oh my gosh. All right. I'm going to have to go because my meds are wearing off and I'm starting to get really, really tired. And it's time for my nighty night meds. But thank you so much for being here, Mike. I really, really, truly appreciate it. You're just phenomenal. And everybody loves you. And everybody who meets you just falls in love with you because you're such a hell of a good guy. So I just want to thank you.
Thank you. I mean, Susan, you know how much I love hanging out with you. I mean, you've
Yeah.
been to all my houses. We hang out every time I get a
Yes.
chance to see you. It's awesome. I hope that I can see you sooner than later. And,
Oh, yes, definitely. Definitely.
and you know, call me
Um,
anytime. Stay in touch. The only thing I'm doing right
Yes.
now, other than getting ready to prepare to swing a big mighty axe around as Strong Door, is going to be making breakfast, lunch, and dinner for Maggie. So
Oh, she's so beautiful. Oh my God. And I loved her skiing video. I loved her skiing
did you see how jacked up she got when she was going? Did you see her do that?
She's adorable. She is.
She's at that age where it's fun now. That's for sure. You know, we're
Oh,
having fun.
Shannon says we need a part 2, 3, and 4
Aw.
on this. Okay. Thank you for hanging out with us, Michael.
It's
Brent
my-
Jones,
Brent,
seriously.
it's my pleasure. I love being
Yes.
here, and thanks for all the questions and stuff. I mean, you guys kept this conversation. I mean, Susan and I could sit here all day long in an insurance seminar if we had to, talking all night. We'd be fine. But
Oh, yeah,
all
we
these,
would.
all this right here, just kept the party going. So that's awesome.
Exactly. Anyway, I love you, and I hope you have an awesome, awesome rest of your week. And I will be reaching out to you at some point, either this week or next. So I will text first. So,
All right. Well,
so
love
many
you too, and you do the same.
Okay. All right, everybody. Thank you all for being here. We really appreciate it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share. And if you're in on the replay crew, don't forget to leave a comment for us because I do read every single comment. And Hernando? What?
Oh, no. Cállate, gringa. It is hermano. It means brother.
Brother. Oh, hermano. Okay, I was reading without my glasses.
Sí,
Okay, that's from your feed. All right. Okay,
Habla
everybody.
español.
Okay, so I'm going to play Michael's video again as an outro. We love you all. Thank you so much for being here. And I will see you probably on our Friday Night Live. Okay, people? And thanks, Mike. I'll talk to you later, honey.
Bye-bye.
Bye.